Hello guys. You watched the preview that I uploaded today, hopefully. If I upload things properly for once in my YouTube career. Yeah, we know that the reason I'm holding this like this now is because the mic seems to be messing up a little. I might need to buy a new mic. If I buy a new mic, I'm definitely buying a hand mic. What? Oh, sorry. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but I thought the mic literally made a static noise. But it looked like we just a thing. So before we get on to today's video, let's get today's shouts. Let's give it to Lazy Matt Man, made really good by Isaac videos, and let's give it to Hermit. I think it's been a couple of weeks since I last watched him. It's funny to see me be like, it's been this amount of time, but he makes short content that I would highly recommend you watch. But yeah, those are today's shoutouts. But as always, if I haven't even put it, oh my goodness, that's gonna be probably a weekly update. As always, if I happen to be mispronouncing your name wrong, then I am sorry, and y'all will be the first asked in the description below. Now, let's get into today's video. So first of all, y'all should probably already noticed if y'all watched one of the shorts I uploaded this week, but I gotta talk about One Piece, right? So last chapter was pretty interesting, but nothing right home about, right? I mean, something right home about, but it was clearly set up. I don't know if I made it part of the last week update, but I just want to get it out of the way. If I did, that because One Piece is always interesting, but that was more set up. This chapter was just funny, right? So we see them all come down, right? So first of all, I don't know why, even the, Mugiwara, when he made the review, also said a similar thing, but when the Gorosei touched down, we see their forms, and they all seem to be based on mythology, and one of them seemed to be a reference to Dune, which I think is hilarious, because, me and him, I'm not gonna say we're on the same wavelength. I just realized this is for my phone. I'm not saying we're on the same wavelength, right? But this chapter, it seemed like we were both thinking the same thing, because he was like, that reminded me of the thing from Doom, and apparently on one of those small notes, it's literally calls out oh, it's a fantasy creature that you might see in Doom, series like Doom, which is so funny, right? Because it's just hilarious because it's a sandworm, and it makes sense to be an agriculture. The Gorosei of agriculture has it because worm tech is a ginormous worm, but it's probably the least mythical out of all of them. Something I would like to say is that it's interesting how, based on all the colorations, I'm pretty sure they're not official colorations, but based on all the colorations, it seems like Zone's Awakening actually don't have white clouds. And keep in mind, all these should be mythical zones. I think it's literally called mythical zones. But even they all have black clouds. So it seems like the white clouds are definitely just an aspect of Luffy part. And it also doesn't seem to be a result of Haki. Not doubting Gorosei have good Haki. As we see one of them's a sword, literally can use a sword. So I highly doubt they can't use Haki. But I do think it's interesting. Actually, we know they have Haki and can use it because of what, let's call him useless. Let's call him grade A trash. Let's call him, imagine losing to a pirate in his first year. Let's call him, worth nothing. Let's call him thinking he's all that, but then fighting someone holding him back. Let's call him, his name is Lucy. I just love insulting characters I don't like, or they're just really fun to insult. Yeah, we see Lucy mention the fact that you can sense their Haki, so they definitely are good Haki users. But it seems like the black smoke isn't a Haki thing; it's just a myth, a Zoan Awakening, which makes sense that Luffy's the only one so far that we've seen with white clouds because Sun God Nika, so sun is bright, so the clouds around him is white. So I think that's interesting. It also means that that all throughout, when we see him go gear 3rd and 4th, that kind of confirms, in my opinion. I don't know, this, like other people already said this, but this showcased just how much power he was, like just how close to his awakening he truly was beforehand. Because we see that smoke is an aspect of their awakening. It's just that it's constantly on. So the fact that he like was using their power already is really impressive. And just to showcase how much more dangerous it would be if Luffy like is told, oh yeah, your power isn't just rubber. Because like imagine how much better he could be with the power. I don't know how much he would change his moveset, but just matter of fact how like diverse his moveset is to begin with, it is interesting to know. Like now I personally, now this is a part where he called attention to, but I have a theory behind it. So during the chapter, I think it was this chapter, it could be last chapter, he did both of them combined, but Sanji run faster than the light and kick it, and like, wait, how do you do that? And he's like, I did it out of love and passion. But he's like, well, the laws of physics dictate otherwise. And like, well, the laws of physics lose the love. And like, well, then we have to redo everything. But what I think might actually be going on here is Gear 5. Now, we do know that Gear 5 have that can make pretty much Looney Tunes, right? So I wonder if this can boost other people too. Because we know it can actually affect other people. We see this in the fight against Kaido. But it also affects their autonomy. People who he isn't just fighting. Like, take for instance, we see character reacting with their eyes popping out their heads during the fight where he awakens. So it does affect other people. And we do know that he can actually, deflect lights and touch him because of his power. So I wonder if that actually had to do with what happening with Sanji, where Luffy's like, maybe not actively doing it, but like passively helping him out like that. Maybe like people, because he was also like Sanganika, also known for gathering people and being like someone who set people free. So you can imagine he will probably help the people around him and maybe give them a boost of energy or boost of power. So maybe that's another aspect of his thing. It could also be like I had a different thing what I wanted to say, but I forgot it. But the second funny thing I want to draw attention to before you move on to My Hero Academia is Zoro. So everyone knew that Zoro was taken serious because he didn't use 3 swords or whatnot. But it's funny to see confirmation of it because we see as Sanji was like, where's Zoro at? Should he be over with y'all? And he's like, get confirmation. He's still fighting Rob Lucci. And I'm about to go get him now, Sanji. And then as, like, we don't know how close it is, but I'm just assuming that he is like, let's say 60 feet away. The further the better. He's in eyesight to, Jinbei, but, he's not that close. So I can imagine that he's like 60 feet away from him. And I also like to imagine that the monitors aren't that loud. Because it doesn't seem like it's very loud. Especially because everyone's yelling. And they're like, be quiet, you're too loud. At least from what I remember. So I would like to imagine that you can barely hear it already. You're right by it. But then it's even quieter if you're away. Because the second Zoro hears Sanji say that, he gets serious. Like, he pull out 3 swords and just one shot him, which is just so funny, right? Because I like to, because other people like mention like it'd be funny to imagine like he just kept pulling him down, but then he went in a circle, trying to get back with him, and by the time he finished the circle, he's already up. But I think it's funnier to imagine that he was doing that while just joking around, and then he got serious and like, I'm just gonna one shot you, and knocked out. But also funny to think about how he's huffing and puffing, seemingly, from a Sajin. But it really seemed like he now huffing and puffing because how much he was talking about. Like, it's hilarious to see him just, and you look at his face, he is really serious, and he seemed very mad at the comment. He just, bam, one shot. And it's so funny. But let's move on to My Hero Academia, right? So this chapter is good. We are finally getting some progress, or more progress, on his process on trying to save Shigaraki. One of the things that we see him do is actually break through with Nana. They say that she got blown away, but I don't know what it means. I think that might be a mistranslation because she's with Deku, unlike with the rest of the vestiges. But I could be reading that wrong. It could very much mean she got blown away because she's not like with them. She's with Midoriya, so she got knocked back. But we see, some of what happens in his childhood, or Deku see some of what happened in his childhood, which, I can't wait to see him react because we left off with him like hugging the dog, so we know it's second from like what happened, but we know that he sees a little bit of reaction to what Nana did. We also see, we also see Deku. Like keep in mind, when I say we see, I'm talking about Deku, not like we first get introduced. We see Deku react to like Shigaraki getting hit. We also hear. A lot of this is an internal monologue from Shimura or Nana. But we see them react to the stuff that was going on in childhood. And we're about to see the day that he snapped. Not in the day, we're about to see the scene where he snapped. But what I also like to call a trick and shoe is it seems like they're both being off of each other's negative emotions. So we already knew they were linked together. But something interesting came out. First of all, Midoriya is in his normal attire, not his normal life suit, but like his UA suit. But as we go on, he seems to be de-aging, but which could be linked back to earlier, where it's like showing Kid Midoriya holding the hand to Shigaraki, Kid Shigaraki. So we could be seeing like go see that because we already see Deku try to reach out, but then there's a barrier. But Nana like get the barrier out of the way by like stopping the dad. But we see him like already trying to do it. So what I can imagine by the time this thing ends, Midoriya is a kid trying to help. But what I also want to call attention to is the reason why I said they seem to be being off of each other's negative emotions or be leaking each other's negative emotions too, is because we see like essentially like. A lot of series take inspiration from other series, but this is essentially a Naruto thing with like an evil version of Naruto. I forgot like when he first unlock KCM mode, and essentially you see him like version of what Shigaraki sees him as, and then seem to also be mixed with what Deku views himself as, because he's also like, you already been used multiple times before. Do you really think you're gonna be useful here? Or do you really want to save this villain? Because we know that it's Mr. Shigaraki because of what he said. Like, it literally what it says. But then also, seems to be him too because you gotta keep on merging together. So I think it's interesting that we can see a little bit more Midoriya character where even he is doubting, like, seem to have something in the back of his mind where either he's doubting it or he's like reminded of his past self and what he would have done, to the point where it's like you can make a visible thing where it's like, do you think you're gonna succeed with this? Do you really think that the useless Deku you are is gonna succeed? But I think that's interesting. We are very much getting up to the end of My Hero Academia. One thing I like to see beforehand is Midoriya literally fighting an army, because I might post it if I can find a screenshot. But during the scene where Midoriya like, and this is the story how I became the number one hero, and he's like facing down an army. We actually get a lot of references to other things in other Nomus. We also see, I'm pretty sure I pointed out that like you can see some of the villains later on in the story there. Like you can see Gigantamakia, I think. I don't know if I point out Toga, but I think you can see Spinner there too. Not the Spinner we are right now, but I think the previous one, like his actual one. I don't know why I said actual one. The one without his quirk. Getting quirks from One for All. But I think it's interesting to showcase this. One last thing before I go. Before I go get some wire, and then we move on to the webtoons. I'm originally going to do Kagabashi again, but I want to actually cover just a short thing of Dragon Ball. This chapter was really good, and I think it's supposed to be a homage to Akira Toriyama with the way that like the rest of the panels are silent. They do like put the thing in the bottom I think they're still going. It says to be continued, so I am interested to see what they continue onwards because as I will say in the weekly update, because Smap has officially retired. Or actually, I said it last week, but I can especially relate to it now, right? Um, his story is not dead yet. What he done and his legacy will never die. But just the story that he was going to tell is not over yet. Just like with Berserk, so we have to see what they go on with. Well, it is super, so it is somewhat worse than Z. In my opinion, it's worse than Z. But everyone has their own opinion. But in my opinion, it definitely is worse than Z. Like it will be interesting to see them try to not only be respectful, they always seem to be, but like see what they try to do, like see if they can succeed in the vision that Kira Toriyama seemed to have. I haven't seen all of Super. I've seen a decent bit of it as far as I'm aware, but I also read some of the manga, but I will say, I do want to say, right? I do think it was written by someone else, at least the earlier version. But I will say that like the movies are really good. Not really the movies. I haven't seen the superhero one, but the point I'm getting at is that I'm interested in seeing how they try to continue onwards. But let's talk about the chapter. The chapter is really good. We don't see him lose. We see Beast Gohan fight Goku, Vegeta, and Broly. Broly seemed to be it's interesting because based on what the way they're describing it and what we see, it seems like Broly is actually the weakest one right now. Mainly because he's trying to hold back without releasing all his power, which is probably the reason why Goku had Beast Gohan go against Broly, because it was a seemingly similar transformation to that. But what's also interesting, we see Beast Gohan is doing some work on true Ultra Instinct Goku. So the thing, for your power scale out there, it seems to be evidence that Goku might be weaker than his son at this point. But that's all for this part of the video. Let's cut right back after I get some water break with manguas. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back. I misplanned. The plan was to just slide this like welcome back. But that is besides the point. So let's talk about the series. Now this first one I can't make any prediction on because I honestly don't know where it's going with the story. But I would like to say I am currently enjoying reading Hardcore Leveling Warrior After Earth. I think that's the name of it. I didn't read it when it first came out, and I was gonna build up before I started reading it. And now that I'm reading it, I am so disappointed at myself. Like Webtoon is funny, especially with this. But like when you try to catch up to a series and then you catch up, I just felt disappointed. Like this sucks. I caught up. But thankfully I have another good. The chapters are really long. Thankfully I have another series just like that. It's called Tower of God. Let's see if next week I don't actually catch up to that. Hopefully I do. But it's a good series. I highly recommend you go read it. I am interested to see what is going on. I think they're gonna try to get everyone's memory back, but we don't really know what's going on yet. And your guess is as good as mine. Especially because I'm not got to the newest chapter, or at least finished the newest chapter is the best way to say it. But we'll find out eventually. But I do think it's interesting to note that I think that what's gonna happen is he's gonna try to get everyone married back so they can all get their powers and get it together. But that's just based on what I can see so far. I could just be completely wrong with that. The next series I would like to talk about is Double Click. Double Click is a series I don't think I ever talked about on this channel, but it's a really good series. I would highly recommend you go read it. I won't be with anything that I'm reading right now. I will say go read it if you want. So Double Click, we have the newest chapter. Basically, they really was good, like cooking with their strategies, but they underestimated how well they can work together, and how good I don't know the main character's name, but the main character is at playing the game. Not too much. It wasn't like they really hyped him up, and like I can't like the captain of the second team was like, "Yo guys, I'm not even gonna try to say this. Yeah, I'm not even gonna entertain this idea, but I am not winning that 1v1. But I'm gonna try to get motion sickness because he haven't used the best, like one of the speed row skills, which it seems to be a speed based skills, judging by the fact that they make it pretty well known that it will cause motion blurriness, or seem to will cause motion blurriness for the main character, but also by the fact that the plan was to get him to use it while being trapped in the black hole. So clearly the plan was to have him be sucked in there. In order to escape it, he would need to activate this buff that would increase his motion needed speed. Which means that, technically speaking, he's been holding back this entire time. So that's something cool to note. I don't know if we even see that this even use that skill in the first time he played the game, before he even knew he had motion sickness. But if he did, then that means that only one person see him use all the skills. But if not, it is funny to note that he has not truly went all out, to the point where he needs to use every skill. But yeah, I'm really happy that they give prompts to Chan. Of course, they've been giving prompts recently, but they're giving, like, let me tell you, it is satisfying to watch the entire team grow, but it's also satisfying to see one of the members who seem the most insane, or like not insane, but like is probably the worst one of the bunch, and is like acknowledged for being the best or second best. Like he's one of the best, and then we also see the main character best friend also get acknowledged, which pretty much the entire time they he is decent, I guess, but it is good to see them be like, yeah, no, he's good, and he's also improving crazy fast. Granted, they both lost, but that was because they used a strategy to ban what they would normally want to go to, and their strategy was really good. It's gonna be I'm predicting that they might even lose this, but it's been a neck to neck game so far. We also see that he was able to get back to her Ari-chan, I think that's her name, aka their captain, before she had to 2v1 some people. So we will now 3v1 actually the enemy team, but now we know that she's probably gonna win that. It would be interesting to note because we probably will kill off. I don't think it finished. He's probably gonna kill off Ragger. And then after that, he probably kill off the other person, which will probably lead her to be able to do a 1v1 against her ex-friend. So that will be interesting to see. And my prediction is that she might win, but I don't think that's how it's gonna go. I think that Chan might have to step in, or they might team up on her, because I'm predicting that they might do what they did last round, where they had a cage match again, or have eventually make a mode where they're like 1v1 for everyone. But we don't know what it's going with yet. But it is. I think they're gonna win this round. Last year I want to talk about is Jungle Juice. There really isn't much I want to talk about with this one. I just want to mention, oh my god, I do not advocate for bioterrorism. I really want the main characters to succeed, but God, was I happy to when they revealed that the bomb was going over his old not hometown, I don't think, but his old city he used to live in, because we get a zoom in on the girl he liked and wanted to date in the first chapter, the first few chapters. I guess the best way to phrase is the first arc, who called him a monster. And I have never, Rachel from Tower God is probably the only other occasion where I was like, I don't care if it costs 1,000 lives. I do not care if it costs entire cities. I wanna see this person suffer. I wanna see them lose. And I really hope they succeed, right? But I cannot say with complete honesty that if they don't succeed, I'd be like, oh man, that sucks. I want to see us succeed. mean, I was rooting for y'all 100%. I'd be like, ah, man, that sucks for y'all. I am so happy that we would see her, that one girl, become what she hates. Now, don't get me wrong, she's not a terrible person, but when your main character is extremely likable, you can sometimes make, or like doesn't do anything wrong, but the person really hates them. You can get it out of the way. The same, but the point, I guess, it was very irritating, right? Because in my personal opinion, the main thing that make this more irritating to me, like this so irritating, is because he saved your life. Like, do you want to be like she was literally about to be eaten alive? Why are you scared of him? But I digress. I can always complain about the character acting like an idiot. But with that being said, that would be it for today's video. Today's shoutouts once again are Lazy Matt Man, and if I recall correctly, Hermit. If I'm, as always, if I happen to be mispronouncing your name, y'all be the first ats in the description below. But as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. This should be released on a Friday. And weekly updates will be released on a Sunday. So, see y'all next time.